Ik ben in Leicester in de East Midlands regio van Engeland. Wat heeft hij daar nou te zoeken, vraag je je misschien af. Nou, er is iets wat me al een tijd bezighoudt. Natuurlijk zie ik dat veel westerse landen in rap tempo veranderen, maar het lijkt nog harder te gaan in Engeland. En het verandert niet de positieve kant op. Maar hoe kan dat? Engeland was tot voor kort nog het of één van de centra's van de wereldmacht. Het grote Engeland. Kennen we het nog? Maar er lijkt niks meer van over. Engeland lijkt in de brand te staan. De bevolking is compleet gedemoraliseerd, ziet geen toekomst meer en volgens velen komt dat door de nimmer aflatende massa-immigratie.
Do you think there should be more immigration or less?
Less. You should stop it.
Hotels met migranten worden aangevallen, maar de politiek kijkt al decennia lang weg.
Those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law.
More than 1,100 people came ashore in 24 hours.
En de bevolking wordt de mond gesnoerd. De censuur vanuit de overheid lijkt tyrannisch.
This is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page.
I'm actually being arrested.
You're going to be arrested, okay?
Look at the cops! Because he mentioned Palestine!
A woman has been arrested by Cheshire Police in relation to an inaccurate information on social media.
Someone has been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social media page. That's why you've been arrested.
In Russia last year, 400 people were arrested for things that they said on social media. How many people do you think were arrested in Britain for things they said on social media last year? Take a guess.
I have no idea.
3,300.
Really?
Lucy Connolly has just been sentenced to 31 months in prison
because she wrote one angry post on social media.
En dan heb je het schandaal rondom de grooming gangs. Groepen Pakistaanse mannen verkrachten veelal minderjarige meisjes op industriële schaal. De politie wist ervan, maar keek weg.
In Rotherham, hundreds of young girls had their lives torn apart. Failed by the police, by social services, failed by men who abused them.
The mass rape of young white working class girls by gangs of Pakistani rapists is a rotting stain on our nation.
Look at all the hate you've done to us girls! All the hate! Just think we've got to live now with our families! You've done nothing to support us, nothing to support!
Engeland verarmt op alle niveaus.
London super rich are taking a one-way private jet trip out of here.
With the UK expected to see the largest outflow of high net worth individuals.
Komt het ooit nog goed met Engeland? Gaat het ooit weer terug naar dit? Mijn vraag is dus: what happened to England?
Welkom, strijders voor onze vrijheid en onze rechten. Dit is de Jensen Roadshow. Zonder jullie financiële steun hadden we dit nooit kunnen doen. Steun ons als je dit waardeert. Ga naar jensen.nl.
Should I stay or should I go?
Oh, there he is, my good mate.
Hey!
Hey!
How are you, man? Welcome to Leicester.
Good to see you. Good to see you again.
Welcome to Leicester.
It's been 1 year.
Yeah,
this is Paul.
This is Paul, my brother.
I'm the good-looking one. Only when he's not here.
This is the brother. This is the brother.
Yeah, Paul is he's been, how is it, 50 years now?
50. I'm in my 51st year.
As a bus mechanic. And so if his phone goes,
I'm gone.
You're gone.
And he's called out, then he'll go.
No, I got the heads up that he's the best bus mechanic in
phenomenal.
Well, I wouldn't say that, obviously, but I've been around it a long time.
Yeah,
but two sons of Leicester. Huh? You guys
absolutely.
Born here,
and I've lived here all.
He still lives in the same house.
67
that
years
I moved
this
into
year.
when I was 5.
67 years this year I've lived here.
Yeah.
Still you live in the same house?
I do.
Yeah. You grew up.
And I was born like 10 minutes down the road from here.
The thing is, I like a
1952.
very simple life.
Yeah.
Because simple lives are very enjoyable. People look for too much, and then when they don't get it, they go on a depression.
Well, that's true.
I never do depression.
Well, you look very happy.
Because when you live in a country run by idiots, the only thing you can do is laugh. It's as simple as that.
That is true. That is true.
It is.
I can see the resemblance.
Can you?
It's funny, yeah. But Paul really has a spark.
The only thing that keeps us apart is the hairdo. You see.
Yeah.
I like mine short for the job. And he likes to look distinguished, you see, as the old chap.
Since when have I been bloody distinguished?
Paul, is it true that you are actually, well, let's say you taught David everything he teaches the world? Is that true?
Well, I wouldn't say that. what I would say is that we are absolutely on the same page.
We're on the same page, yeah.
We're absolutely on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 peas in a pod.
Do you have to laugh? Do you have to laugh at how he's treated? And are you shocked? Are you baffled? Or
Morons Aura's Club Platinum membership, fastest growing club on the planet. Morons Aura's Club Platinum membership, fastest growing club on the planet. Never bothers me what people think about it. The big mistake that people make with him is they think he sits there dreaming all this stuff up.
Yeah.
They don't realise it's so in-depth investigation. And he won't run with anything till he's investigated it and researched it and knows it's right. But to the uninitiated, that idiot, look what he's saying now. Well, have you had a look at anything? No. Well, how about you do?
But Paul,
that's where we're at.
I agree with you 100%.
That's where we're at.
Because this is where I started with David. It's like, conspiracy theorist doesn't mean anything. I know where the term comes from.
Yes.
But the thing is, I always tell my audience, and especially when I start to introduce David more and more, it's like, it's not that this guy makes it, that's like you said, it's not out of thin air.
No.
It's research. He writes books, thousands of pages
long,
thick.
Yeah.
And it's based on facts. Go check what he's written.
Yes, but nobody does.
It. Nobody does.
I had a classic.
Well, how do you explain that?
Morons Aura's Club membership. I had a classic with a delivery driver. I had a delivery driver deliver me a parcel. He knows this story. They take your name now. You can't sign, the COVID scam. Got to put your name on an electronic device. I said, ICE. Oh, that's the same as that nutty bloke. I said, yeah, it's my brother. Well, it's only what I've heard. And that sums it up.
It's only what I've heard.
It's only what I've heard.
Yeah, and never do your own research.
And then it was, well, I've got to go. I thought, yeah, you have. This is where we're at.
This is the thing, you do 36 years of research so far. And people who've not done 36 seconds say that's a load of rubbish.
It's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, because somebody else said it.
Yeah.
It was rubbish.
Well, this is the thing, you see. If you can control normal, the perception of normal, which is a very narrow band of perception, where if you go outside of it, you're strange, you're mad, or you're dangerous. And if you can control that normal, then anyone that goes beyond it, and almost everything worth knowing is beyond it, you'll get the same reaction from people because you've breached their normal. And it's like, if you can, it's a massive part of the perceptual control of humanity is to control their perception of the possible. Because if you can control that, anything that's outside the perception of the possible is waved away by reflex action as being not possible, as being far out. So when you're talking about entities in another dimension manipulating human society, that is massively beyond the sense of normal. You can explain it, you can explain the physics of it, you can explain the history of it, you can explain the evidence for it, but it's outside their normal, so they dismiss it. It's too much for them. So we are making progress.
You always say during your talks, I mean, you can fill a phone booth with people.
Oh, well done, mate.
Platinum member. Just what I was on about.
What was on?
Morons Horrors Club.
Yeah.
Platinum member.
Yeah, you saw that? He flipped that.
It's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because there's been a change, and I've noticed it because I deal with the public.
This is interesting because he over the years has met so many of the same people in his work.
Yeah.
And he's seen a dramatic change in their demeanour since the jab.
We used to have people that were switched off, people that were in between, people that was on the ball.
Yeah.
I only see switched on and switched off now. And if they're switched off, I mean they're switched off.
Yeah.
You look in their eyes, there's nothing there.
Like this guy who
just look at him. He was in a total trance, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, you know, whatever.
Nothing there.
And you'll get people...
no energy, no human...
No, nothing. No life in the eyes.
No,
And the eyes are a classic to look at.
Dead.
No life in the eyes, dead. Yeah. Absolute moron. Platinum member, as I tell you. But what I'm seeing is completely brain dead. You'll get somebody come up, I'll get people come up in the job, and they'll ask a question. You'll give them an answer. And sometimes when I'm around the country, the answer will be, I don't know. They'll come up and say, do you know where this bus is? Yeah. Well, no, because I'm not from here. Yeah, but I've just told you I don't know. Yeah, but, and the kid... It's just as if they're just not.
It's just not. Now, I've been in Amsterdam... in close to people wanting to fight me, and this has never happened to me. But really, I mean, of course they were drunk, but they're just dumb, and there's no reasoning. There is no.
No, they're just completely out of it. I had a phrase. He knows this. I had a phrase, the 40 watters, because in this country, in the old days, in our era, the 60s and 70s. There were 3 light bulbs for a property. A 100 watt, which was very bright. A 60 watt you'd have in a small room. And a 40 watt that was dim. So everyone who knows me, if we're talking to somebody who's dim, I could say to him, we've got a 40 watter here. And he would know, and a lot of people I associate with know what I'm on about. But I've had to stop using it. Because it's no longer a case that the lights are on but dim, the lights are not on.
No, right.
So that's how bad it's got. But then you'll meet someone else, and I know now within a sentence, these are switched on.
It's true, eh?
Platinum member.
Yeah.
That's the there's no I don't perceive an in-between anymore. Now something's caused that, because I've only noticed it in the last 2-3 years, but it's accelerated.
Yeah.
It's accelerated.
Yeah. Paul, you do. I think you've accomplished an amazing thing in your life. That I've never seen David listen to somebody for longer than when you're talking.
The problem, the thing I've got
usually
is
everybody's listening and David is talking.
The thing is I've got.
But you dominate him.
I go to a coachload of people who have broken down. They're not happy, so I've got to make them happy. I never stop talking. I'm as bad as him. You know, we've got a contagious case of verbal diarrhea, both of us.
Yes, we have. I've tried everything.
Nothing seems to stop it, does it?
The clock tower and the 5 streets that lead off it, the centre of the city, the symbol, the glory, the civic pride of Leicester.
So what is this clock in the middle of the town?
Well, this is the centre of Leicester, and this has been around as long as I have and long before. Round here, there used to be tram lines. Trams used to go around here, and traffic then, but now it's pedestrianised. But what's interesting is you look at the kind of the way that's been made, and then you look at some of these very old Leicester buildings. The eye is moving around because of the different shapes and the different patterns. And then you look down here, it's all straight lines. If you particularly since the 1960s, you basically, to be an architect, you need a ruler and a pencil. because everything's straight lines, and it's incredibly
because the clock is
unpleasing on the eye.
The clock is lovely. That building is lovely with Tim Hortons, another famous son of Leicester. No, I know he's a Canadian hockey player.
That used to be.
It used to be Burton Menswear.
Burton's Menswear.
Burton's Menswear, and it was Burton's for years,
and
decades and decades.
And now it sells donuts.
Now it sells donuts.
Now it sells donuts. Yeah, Canadian donuts.
But that's lovely, and I have been wondering, what is this almost like aggressive form of architecture that came into great cities, even Paris, Madrid, Amsterdam. All of a sudden, you have beautiful buildings, and all of a sudden there is something screaming at you, and it's highly offensive.
Yeah, but you look at the pride that people had in their architecture at one point.
Yeah.
And now there's no pride. It's as cheap as you can get it. I've talked to architects and I've said, the buildings you're designing now are so shite.
Yeah.
And they said, well, yeah, but we're working to a budget. And if you want to build a building for that budget, then it's going to be what you see. So
you think it's a financial thing?
To an extent, it's financial, but it's also psychological.
Because it depresses you.
Yeah, it depresses you. And, you can get deep into this about the flows of energy.
Yeah.
These straight line buildings, they do something to the energetic field. They make it, basically stop it vibrating. They take the vibrance out of it. I mean, look at that building over there, look. Right?
Yeah.
The concrete building.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it.
Look how awful that is.
It's awful. And look at this.
Well, this was a 70s build, wasn't it?
There is nothing attractive about
nothing
it.
Attractive
About it. It's like when I'm in a beautiful city, like beautiful area of like Madrid.
Yeah.
I go I see the buildings and I go, oh God, and then I go. It's like God, Satan, God. In a way, because look at this.
But if you look at that, Robert, right? You look at that, it's depressing.
It's depressing.
Right? It brings you down, doesn't it?
That's why I say it's offensive too.
Yeah.
So this used to be a buzzing street.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
What's this street called?
Umberston Gate.
Yeah, it is Umberston Gate because that's Galata Gate up there.
But you probably don't recognise it.
If you look back online and find old pictures of it, the buses all ran through. This was a main road through. The centre, there was a row of flower boxes. Do you remember, Dave? The old concrete flower boxes with the Leicester City emblem on. And that there, like I said, the tower is the original from a department store called Lewis's.
It was fantastic.
And that entire building was one store, Lewis's.
Yeah.
Six floors.
It was a very pleasing building.
Yes, very pleasing.
And I used to go in there at Christmas up to the top floor because they always had a model railway in the toy department.
And they were well known for the Christmas grotto, Father Christmas and all that. 6 floors, you could get anything there.
And now look at it.
It was iconic shop.
And now look at it. So they kept the tower and
they kept the tower. They demolished everything to the ground. They levelled everything and put all these little nondescripts up.
Before people start accusing us of being grumpy old men, and in the olden days it was much better.
Yeah.
But there is not a soul, there's not a person on this planet with half a brain cell that wouldn't say that the architecture before and of these older buildings is nicer, much lovelier than this monstrosity.
Look at it. Everything we've been talking about, the straight lines, the ruler and the pencil, is personified in this building.
It's a hotel now.
Well, this used to be a series of different buildings, all of which were different, weren't they?
Yes, all
old
different
buildings.
Yeah.
There was the Bell Hotel and there was a department store on the end. And now look at it. It's straight lines.
With the nice classic finishes.
Classic old-fashioned style.
Oh, yeah.
Old-fashioned
Individual.
Style. Individual, yeah.
I mean, just look here how this building, this travel lodge, joins the building next to it. Look at it. I mean, it's horrible.
I mean, I don't understand that. Sometimes I have to say, I walk through cities like this and other places. I go, what we really need is just a big bomb. And let's start over again, the classic style.
There was a poet once, an English poet called John Betjeman, And he wrote a poem about Slough,
Slough.
just on the west of London, where they built basically an entire place like this. Come friendly bombs and drop on Slough. Basically, there's no reason for its existence now. That wasn't the line exactly, but that was the feel. And, you know, it's so. When you look at what it was like in architecture and in vibrance. Look at it now. It's extraordinary.
And Paul just mentioned during the walk over here something to me, and I think about that a lot. And I feel a lot. And I think sometimes, is it me? But you said, I mean, if you feel the low energy,
there's no atmosphere. It's silent.
It's not even low. There's sort of
There's nothing, is there? And if you look at everybody, they're just the zombie apocalypse. They're just doing their own thing.
Yeah, dead. Yeah, they bring astronauts here to practice dealing with no atmosphere. they bring them to Leicester. Mind you, having said that, you know, having a go at Leicester, having a go at the people that have run Leicester, Britain's like this.
Yeah.
The inner cities of Britain have all been absolutely gutted by this architecture. I'm devaluing the word architecture by calling it that.
And I have to say too that what I noticed during the COVID hoax, and I wasn't really that aware that they can do this. You know what they, let's not get into who they are, but we know who they are. They can sort of pull the energy plug from the socket of life.
Yeah.
And I think that energy plug has never been really totally plugged in ever since 2000.
No.
2000, what was it, 20s?
Well, you look at people.
Because it's worse now than it was in 2019, right?
No one is smiling.
There's no buzz.
No one is talking to nobody. No one is happy. Look, they're all.
Now, if you just stand here and just imagine that you are in a software program, and that non-player characters are walking past you. I mean, I'm standing here now and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the way that people are walking and people are looking. It's a frickin' software program. You're in the Matrix with Neo and Morpheus, basically. And like you say, when's the last time since you arrived, that you've seen anyone laugh?
No, nobody's. When have we heard anyone talking to someone with them? They're not. It's just dead. It is the zombie apocalypse,
and it's like also, for example, being on a plane. You know, people are just zombies, but then they can also explode into anger easily. You know, something can trigger.
Well, that's another thing that's come. Aggression.
Yes.
Aggression has massively increased. And why? You know, just laugh at things. Just take a step back and laugh. The great ability is to be able to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you're dead.
No.
People have lost that, haven't they? They can't laugh at themselves. Because I always say we're all oddball in our own way.
Yeah.
Because something that you may enjoy doing, I will find strange. Something I enjoy doing, you will find strange.
Yeah.
We're all oddball in our own way. But celebrate that. Don't all be the same. But you look, where is the laughter? Where is the fun? Even children, they're just walking
I
the
get
same.
that a lot from doing my show, which you deal with very serious things and also awful things. But I always try to make a joke of it somehow.
Yes.
And people say, how can you sit there laughing through this? Well, I know how serious it is, but you're not gonna take that away from me.
But we were always good at that. The British sense of humour was always good at making fun of anything.
Yeah.
And making fun of yourself, you know.
But you notice that one of the effects of the woke mentality is the number of things you can have a laugh about have got squeezed.
Yeah.
So people don't do it anymore.
No.
I mean, you know, if you're in, for instance, different races, well, it's not racist to have a laugh about somebody.
No.
And to have a joke, it's not. But once you're told it is wrong, then you accept it as wrong, and suddenly it all gets suppressed and filtered out. And so people now are looking. They're basically going through what they're going to say.
In case it offends someone.
In case it offends someone. Well, being offended is a choice.
No.
Don't be.
No.
Choose not to be, you know.
Lucky today. I see you, David. I hope I'm not going to get trouble. I'm very glad to see you, David.
You too, mate. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Following you like.
Hello, Mum.
Mate, I've been watching you for years on the internet. Thank you so much. I'm with you, pal.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
All the best.
Cheers, mate. All the best. Bye. So here you've got a classic old Leicester building. It goes sometime way back.
It was a school, if I remember right.
I think it was, mate.
I think it was a school, wasn't it?
Yeah, and look what they're putting in right next to it.
Oh my God!
I mean, look at it. I mean, that's offensive to the eye. That, when compared with that.
Nothing matches. Look, that
Nothing matches.
That house matches it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's unbelievable. Look at it.
Yeah.
Again. You know, he's a ruler and a pencil. You're an architect. And look, you got that. You got that lovely house there. You've got this building here, which is obviously old and has character. And there's that.
And try and put like a little extra shed in your garden.
Yeah.
Try and get a permit for that.
Yes.
But that's impossible. But this.
Yes.
This was a dance hall.
A dance hall.
In the 50s and 60s, Palais de Danse.
Palais de Danse.
What we see in the old movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Very well known. Very, very well known. You know, the old...
That's a bit old, that, isn't it?
The old stuff and the twist.
Yeah, the twist.
The twist I can do, but the old stuff, the old, you know, 50s. You look at any 50s dance thing, that was it in there.
Oh, Paul, you were charming the ladies.
No, I wasn't in there. I was too young for that. I've never charmed the ladies, mate.
So, David, you've taken me to the place where you say this is where Leicester changed.
Yeah.
Forever.
This is where it started. This was Lee Street car park. It was just a car park, right? And they built this multi-storey car park on it. And then the first Tesco, famous British supermarket, actually was put underneath it. And what that started to then do was destroy the small shops.
Leicester has opened the first supermarket where you can very nearly drive up to the counter. The ticket at the barrier admits the customer to the car park, which is part of the premises, so there's nothing to worry about. And if anyone wants to stay all day, there's multi-deck space for more than 1,000 cars. As for the supermarket itself, it's got everything and every brand from A to X, but don't have X.
Look at it. Look at it. And that was so incongruous, wasn't it, Paul, in Leicester? There's been nothing like it. Because Leicester was a low-level city, wasn't it? There weren't big buildings. And that was the first one. And it's just gone on ever since, getting worse and worse and worse.
But look at this building. What the hell is this? This is a prison.
You say that's a court building, Paul.
That used to be the court building.
Yeah.
From memory, and it occupied this piece here as well. Some of it's been knocked down.
And then they built a beautiful apartment
next door.
Building next door, which is soulless.
Again, look at it. Straight lines. Yeah. Straight lines. That's all that is straight lines. All that is. I used to work there. It used to be the Radio Leicester place.
Yeah, 8th floor was Radio Leicester, wasn't it? When it first came out.
I think it was. Yeah, I worked on the floor
BBC?
below. BBC, yeah. And it's all straight lines.
Look at that. And so when was this built? 70s, 60s?
That would be 70s. Would that be 70s?
Yeah, I mean...
60s, 70s.
I wasn't that old when we used to go up there, because we used to go up there.
See, this is an interesting point. I love the 60s because I loved the music and you know, I was growing up a young teenager. But when I look at it again, it was a big time of dramatic change. What the basic mentality was, out with the old, in with the new. So you had phenomenal old fireplaces taken out and gas fires put in their place. Now, of course, the old fireplaces are going for a fortune to put them back. But you had this transformation, and by the time we got to the 70s, the transformation had really started to motor, and that's when all these horrible buildings came in. Not all of them; some of them started in the 60s, but that it was the out with the old, in with the new, and it's left us with this devastatingly depressing place, where the only vibrance is in the buildings that were before that period.
Yeah, and the buildings before that period, I mean, for centuries people thought, oh, that's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine, but was there a time in the 60s, 70s where people actually looked at a building like this, oh, this is fresh, this is modern?
A lot of them thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was literally out with the old, in with the new, and the new's great. And then it started to dawn on people, actually, you know, the new's not as good as we thought it was. Some of us could see it at the time. I mean, if you look over there, all it is straight bloody lines. The building here, the B supermarket, the one behind it, and then the one beyond it with all the glass. It does something to the energy, Robert.
Yeah.
And we're feeling it in the lack of vibrance and the lack of atmosphere in the field.
And everything dates quickly. You know, it feels dated. It feels.
I remember I used to work for the Leicester Mercury newspaper at one point, the local evening newspaper here, and like I was saying, the whole of central Leicester was rows and rows of streets with like terraced houses, and everybody knew everyone else. And they used to leave the bloody doors open, didn't they?
Yes.
Because they weren't worried, because there was always someone looking out for them anyway. And then they started building these high-rise places. And I was working for the Leicester Mercury at the time. And I would go, if there was a story and I needed to talk to somebody, I would go to these high-rise flats, which were new to me, and I'd knock on the door and there'd be no one in. So I'd literally come here and knock on the door, like feet away, and someone would answer the door, and I'd say, look, do you know where so-and-so is? And, you know, when they're coming back, oh, I don't know who lives there. And it's like the whole, there's something about that is different to that. It's low-level community interaction, and that kind of got lost with that.
Is it like a village versus a city?
Yeah.
Because basically some of these high-rises, these buildings, it's like a whole town, a city, built in the sky.
And if you want to look at what's planned, these 15-minute cities.
What if it could be different? What if we could create a new normal?
From where you shop to where you work, all within a 15-minute walk.
Sounds pretty nice, right?
This will allow to transform highways into parks and other public spheres.
They are literally holding people in
these buildings.
These type of buildings.
They are what I call the shoebox apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Paul's noticed this as he's gone on his travels with his bus repairs, of how many buildings are going up that look the same and fit perfectly with the 15-minute
they've all got a thing that's
agenda.
A theme that's running through.
And they're all high-rises.
They're all high-rise. I call them shoebox apartments.
Yeah.
If you're old enough to remember, David is, the old shoe shops we had that were private shoe shops. The shoes were all in boxes, and the boxes were stacked on a shelf, one on top of the other.
Yeah.
So I call them a shoebox apartment. There's a theme running through them. Downstairs, all high-rise, downstairs, a grocery shop of some sort for you to go and get your food to survive till tomorrow. A coffee shop, perhaps, where you might go and talk to someone if you do manage to talk with another human being in the modern world. Some sort of games communal area, or perhaps a gym. And the other recurring theme is a communal rooftop garden. So in other words, get in your shoebox, stay there. And they're going up everywhere.
And minimum security.
So they've got to be in preparation for the 15-minute sitting.
Yeah.
And that was one of the COVID work from home. It was to get people used to working from home.
Yeah, it was.
Get in there. You want to eat, go to the shop just downstairs. You want to sunbathe, go to the garden on the roof.
It's very perceptive, especially with the rooftop garden.
They're going up everywhere.
You can get your exercise and your fresh air.
And I see them all over the country. Massive ones going up in Birmingham. Massive ones. Go to Birmingham quite often.
And the masses are.
And we've got them in Leicester. We have got them. We have got them in Leicester.
Sleepwalking into it.
Sleepwalking into it. Yeah, sleepwalking into it.
It's a conspiracy theory.
So this is why nobody knows anybody. You go in, you get in the lift, you go up to your shoebox, you open the door, you go in your shoebox, shut the door, stay there. So you're not to know who's next door. Well, it was nothing like that in the old days. Everyone knew everybody.
Everyone knew
you
everyone
look
else.
when we played on the green at the top. The neighbours would look out for other people's kids because they all know each other. And they used to bring us a drink out, didn't they? They'd bring a drink out. If somebody fell over, somebody would be out and take you home, wouldn't they? You know, where we used to live. There was a great communal spirit, but it's gone. It's gone. It's everyone for themselves.
But the thing is, I also need to point out, we talk here about Leicester, but this goes.
Oh, you replicate this across the world. Well, certainly across this country.
This is just an example. Leicester's just an example. We're here, so we're talking about it. It's the same everywhere.
Yeah, and it's basically what you see in China, what's already been developed.
Those enormous. I tell you what, I was in Ukraine, in Kiev, in 2010 talking, and I saw the communist buildings, the communist apartment buildings. It was absolutely colossal, and they were just the same.
Yeah,
all grey, dark grey, grey, depressing, and they were absolutely massive.
Yeah.
It's something to do with the effect on the psyche.
And, you know, you mentioned that, but and also when I feel like there's no spirit, you know, this is going to sound like weird and a stretch, but you know, there's also no sexual spirit, like sexuality, or you know, that sort of playfulness, that sort of attraction, that keeps us all as human beings going. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know exactly what you say.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
it's like there's no playful. There's nothing a little. I don't know.
Well, you can't compliment someone these days without they take offence at the compliment.
Yeah.
But this is the point. What we were saying earlier about what woke had done to comedy and so many other things. The fear of not just offence, but the fear of being accused of something has divided men and women big time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's been going on for a long time.
A long time. You know, I've talked to men, and they say I'd never be alone with a woman I don't know unless someone else is there, because they fear what might happen.
Sad, really, very sad.
Yeah.
Because don't underestimate how important that is for life's energy.
Yeah, but community interaction on any level is important. You know, we're kind of social beings on that level, but they're driving everything apart.
Well, I did it the other week. We'd got a queue waiting to get on the coach, and I'd just repaired it, and I said, right, it's quite simple. We're only taking smiling people today. Suddenly, everyone's smiling. They just needed someone to talk to them, a bit of encouragement. No one talks to anyone anymore.
An excuse to laugh.
And an excuse to laugh freely. You know, I'm not going to get in trouble for laughing because people don't talk to anyone. That's all it is now.
Leicester shit.
Leicester shit.
Too many migrants.
What's he say?
He said Leicester shit. Too many migrants.
Well, this is a police station which I have a great memory of, because over the other side of the city is a theatre, and I was going to speak there. I think it was in about 2018, 2019. And of course, you know from the Netherlands, there's efforts often to stop me speaking anywhere. So my son Jamie, he talked to the owners and said, look, you know he's controversial and you might get a bit of stick for having him on, so you are going to stay the course, aren't you? Oh yes, we believe in freedom of speech. So it was all going fine. And then they get a visit from a police officer from here, from the anti-terrorist police, and from a woke member of the Leicester Council that basically frightens the crap out of the owners, says what could happen, and with having me on, and they pulled, right? They pulled, and so I then, with Jamie, came up to this police station for a meeting with the council guy and the anti-terrorism officer. And it was an extraordinary conversation. I listened to them, and then I said to them, so how many of my books have you read? Both of you? None. How many of my talks have you actually seen? Both of you? Neither. So how do you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
And he said, open source intelligence. I said, you mean you read it in the bloody paper or on the internet? That's what open source intelligence is. It means it's open to everybody. And I gave them such a rollicking. And the guy from the council, well, if he had a brain cell on active duty, it was as much as he did have. And the police officer from the anti-terrorism squad was as thick as you could imagine, clueless man. And it all happened there. And what then happened is we got another venue in another part, just on the outskirts of the city, and absolutely nothing happened.
No, because nothing ever happens after your talks.
Nothing ever happens. No, but that's what you're dealing with. And
there's more violence at a midget golf tournament than at your talks.
True.
It's true.
But when you've got the police involved with trying to stop freedom of speech, as this lot did here, then you are looking at a tyranny.
Engeland blijft bijzonder. Ik heb nog steeds last van mijn ogen na het zien van zoveel lelijkheid in Leicester. Maar als je 40 minuten in de auto zit, ben je opeens midden in het prachtige Engelse landschap en ga je van prachtig dorpje naar dorpje. Maar hoe lang blijft dat nog zo? Het is hier zo snel veranderd. Gaat de wilskracht en overtuiging van de Engelsen toch nog hun cultuur behouden? Het is een vraag waar vele westerse mensen mee geconfronteerd worden in hun landen. Maar hier is het wel heel erg treurig. Ik kom terug naar mijn oorspronkelijke vraag. What happened to England? In de volgende aflevering ga ik daar diep op in. Met iemand die het allemaal voorspeld heeft.
What the hell happened to England?
To know the journey or to understand the journey, you've got to see what the planned outcome has been all along. And that is for a world government, where government happens on a world level and dictates to the rest of the world. When you are moving towards that, then anything lower down, like a country, because they want rid of countries as we know them, has to lose its power, and it has to be handed more and more to a global level.
Het vrije geluid laat zich niet censureren. Jensen.nl